You try and save some of that money on your rent, huh? You want to go back home and live with your parents so you can save it, right? Huh? Can I punch in on this? Anyway, this week on Textually Active, we're talking about intergenerational households. You know, when you stay at home for a little longer, you get with your family and y'all all get one house and y'all all pay the same bills so that somebody can save money to get another house. Yeah, this week we getting into it right now on Textually Active to talk about, can we do it as Black people? Are you really willing to stay home and save money so that you could buy a house? Tune in right now on Textually Active. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Textually Active.
Textually Active.
This is your weekly dose of conversations about navigating the digital age while dealing with friendships, relationships, and all the ships in between. I'm Rez, and I got Meezy with me.
What it do?
EA is on the boards.
Yerp.
And we're back to give you that fire conversation that you guys all love.
Why are you talking like that?
So the other week, I had to do like this thing where... because I'm in marketing, where we had to like test people's voices to do like a voiceover for a video. So I listened to a whole bunch of people do like their voices and how they switched it up and their inflection and the emotion in their voice. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I was trying to like give a little sultry.
What are y'all trying to do to sell this construction equipment?
Yeah,
Bro, come on now.
I mean, y'all be selling lawnmowers. If your dick get hard while you on the lawnmower, that's wild.
No, but it's different tones that go with different videos.
If y'all was selling a washing machine, it would make
I
sense.
do not need that for my riding mower.
You need a voice that's confident.
But if it was a washing machine,
Hey.
You could get sexy with the washing machine.
That just seems a little misogynistic, but I'm rolling.
those just be women who lifestyles won't allow them to buy rolls. They
You want
just
an
wash
extra
dishes all the
spin?
time.
You want something that's going to squirt back at you?
Hey,
Wow.
Get this extension on your sink.
I'm just saying that I would buy a washing machine if Joanne the scammer was trying to sell it to me.
What would he
Just
say?
the voice.
What would she say? I'm sorry. Excuse
that's
me, Joanne.
'cause most of us as just fucking millennials are written on fucking washing dryers. So if it was a cheat with to buy, I damn sure would.
You said written?
Yeah,
Like-
a little fee on a month to buy.
Oh, renting. You know what? It's a good investment though, because your washer and dryer go bad after about a year or so.
I mean, I don't know. Shit, my dad done had this washer.
That's why we got to stop doing Rent-A-Center.
What?
No, we don't do Rent-A-Center, but that's funny. Like, yeah, if your washer and dryer go bad after a year, that's not.
I don't know. Somehow this conversation about washer dryer triggered me into a childhood moment, and I want to know if you all shared it. Have you ever took the laundry basket and rode down the steps in it with your sibling?
Privilege for having a house that had steps in it.
Privilege for having a house.
Privilege for having a house with multiple levels. Like,
I know somebody out there hearing me.
Privilege for having a laundry basket.
valid, because niggas had bags, like for real, like
Y'all never rode down. What about at your cousin's house?
privilege for having laundry being done in your house. like nigga, you can't fucking slide in a laundry basket at the laundromat.
But we used to y'all never got to run up the stairs from the basement and pretend like the monster was coming after y'all?
Privilege for having a basement.
Oh my god.
Privilege for having an imagination.
That person it wasn't no demon. That was a real person.
God.
Fucking, I was scared for real in life, not fucking because something I made up.
Oh my gosh, so y'all never played that game. Babe, so when we was playing He Won't Get Us when we was on our walk.
I was just rolling with you. That's my girl. I'm supporting.
We went I know it sounds crazy. I'm sorry, let me
Y'all
get it
are
out.
some freaks. He won't get it. What kind of cuck bang y'all in?
I thought she was trying to say how to go get it, but
So we've been taking walks outside to get kind of fit for the wedding because anything else is out the window. It's too much shit going on, but we gonna walk. So on our walk, in order to like do a little sprint, we walked behind the building, and I was like, let's pretend somebody chasing us and run. So we were running like somebody was getting us. So the game we coined it is somebody gonna get us, and we just run.
I grabbed a booty or two.
just sound like some freak shit going on.
Okay. Yeah.
Because this ain't even how that would happen.
What?
You would definitely pull a tool on them. So it ain't even.
But sometimes you just gotta run. What else is gonna motivate you to run?
That's because y'all live in a white neighborhood. Because if y'all lived in a black neighborhood, motherfuckers would just be watching y'all run or running with y'all.
Trying to run.
Privilege from being able to run.
It's funny that we're getting into a conversation about houses and, having stairs and running in neighborhoods. Because last week we talked about generational wealth,
I
right?
didn't even know black women ran.
I try not to as much as I can because these,
Like outside.
Yeah, I don't.
I didn't even know that.
I will not. I try sometimes, but it's something heavy, weigh me down. It's like running with a book bag on frontwards. But anyway, so last week we spoke about Dr. Dre and his situation with his daughter, which led us into a conversation about generational wealth and legacy. And after that conversation, we kind of got to talking about like what black people can do that they don't typically do or that we don't normally see to build their money up to get on the level as all the other races. So we briefly spoke about how we typically come up, we have a disadvantage, we don't get that head start, we're not given that loan of $100,000 when we graduate college to start a business or do whatever the hell we want to do. Our parents aren't typically buying us our first house, first car, first anything. So what are some things that we see other cultures doing to kind of like build their money up so that everybody could get a house? So in my searches, I found out that some people will get together as a group of people, pay for the rent for the month or whatever, and then buy somebody in the house a house. And then they'll do that again and buy the next person in the house a house because you all are staying in this whole house. And it took me down the rabbit hole of intergenerational households and what that looks like. So have you guys heard of that before?
In terms of like the purchasing of the homes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think.
Or just the concept of intergenerational households.
I think I read that in an article once upon a time, but it was a black family that did it. So I think I seen it was like on Afrotech or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, but I found that was the anomaly. Like that's not the norm.
Yeah, so by definition, an intergenerational household is a household, obviously, with multiple generations in it. So it'll probably have the grandparents in it, the children, and then the children of the children. So your parents are staying with your grandparents, essentially, or your parents are staying, the grandparents are staying with your parents.
The whole time I thought you meant like when you get kicked out your house and have to go live with your grandma.
That's what you think about intergenerational.
Like, you get put out the house and then go live with your grandma. I so lost.
But the point of it is everybody's putting money into a pot for everybody in the house to get a house.
It sounds like privilege to begin with. Everybody in the house got a job.
Yeah. And everybody has enough money to pay a bill.
Lost already. I'm confused. I could never could imagine this because I just don't see how that works.
What do you mean? What do you think it would be like? Let's take it for instance, our family. Well, your family. We'll start with your family.
Let's just start with yours.
Okay.
You have a better structure of a family. Like, I don't have that kind of structure of a family. Like my parents were never together, so I would have to pick a side from the jump.
Yeah. So I think if we did it as millennials,
Having two parents in the same household.
Sorry.
honestly, I could kind of see it for my family. I think we would all get on each other's nerves, but we would make it work. Like but the thing about it is when somebody is getting on your nerves in the family, everybody gonna know about it.
Right.
Because we all gonna hit the group chat and that one person's gonna be left out. Like, yo, did you see blah, 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 blah? You wanna say something to them? And I think it would be good. I think it would be fun. I pride myself in saying that I do want to make enough money for my family to live in the same house area, maybe have a tiny home in their backyard as we get more money. They have a nice shed, so, if things ever get hard for me and E, maybe we could go to the shed and, walk to the house and, so I wouldn't be against it. I could see it.
That's a dub.
No? You wouldn't want to?
So I know this is kind of shallow, but one of the main reasons why I cannot see me doing this is because they don't make dishwashers big enough, right? Like to have an intergenerational house.
What you mean? You are the dishwasher.
No, that's
The
exactly,
youngest in the house is the dishwasher.
That's exactly my point.
But like when I envision this, I don't see this the way people talk about it. Like
Take us there. What do you see?
I see like grandparents live in this house but don't work.
They retired.
So the children of the grandparents are literally the head of this house. And then their kids also live there too.
You know what I see? An in-house babysitter.
I thought you was going to say, I see Mexicans. Because that's how I picture it in my head. that's what I thought.
I see a daycare. I see daycare bills being saved.
But, so when, like, E's saying there's not a dishwasher big enough, I feel like if Abuela is at the house.
Why she gotta be Abuela? Why does she have to be Abuela? Why can't she be Umi?
Who the fuck calls that girl by Umi?
I think Muslims do.
Oh, all right. So if they like their only like thing that they got to do these days is just clean around the house. Like, you know what I'm saying? They at home doing laundry, watching soaps and shit.
Kind of problematic, but I get it.
What? I mean, like, that's generally what I see. Like, that's what I see. Like, the grandparents that live there don't work no more. And so they, like, do all the thing. Because the granddad don't. The granddad's somewhere on the corner getting drunk. But I just see, like, that's what the role is. Like, the grandma is an extra babysitter. She is taking care of the house because she don't have to get up and go to work.
Yeah.
While the parents, children, the parents of this household go out to work every day and come back, and then, you know, the kids, whatever age, either at home or at school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. So I really never seen like a black version of this.
Bruh, so you never seen Blackish?
No, I don't watch that bullshit.
I mean, I feel I understand.
They had an intergenerational household.
Yeah, they did.
They was rich,
I understand
too,
I understand where Meez is coming from, but I mean, I think that's one particular like scenario, right? Because, you know, not everybody's grandparents are just like bedridden or just like
I'm not saying
like,
bedridden.
I
I'm
mean,
just saying they don't do shit else.
Well, I mean, but there could be a situation where it's just like, hey, yeah, like, you know, they're functional, but they probably, you know, it's too much house, right? So it makes sense if it's just, hey, like, you know, Nana owns the house, you know, Grandpa owns the house. It's too much, you know, it's too much house for one person. We all move in and live together. You know, it could help out, right?
I'm not against that.
I am.
All that rent money that you paying or mortgage that you paying going towards other stuff.
No, because that whole, you know, black people have this whole my house, my rules type shit. And you can't, no matter what age, you can't get past that.
I feel like after a certain age, you grow out of my house, my rules.
You can't.
I feel like
Because it's still their house.
About 25, that's when I grew out of it.
No. So you was bringing niggas to the crib when you was 25?
Yeah.
And they was staying, spending the night?
Yeah, Eric spent the night.
Yeah, I mean, that 25 was literally like 5 years ago, like when we started.
Eric spent the night. He was spending the night.
Often?
He had to sleep.
How often?
He couldn't sleep in my bed though. for a while.
A long while.
See what
Yeah.
like.
But eventually he got to the point where he could sleep in the
I
bed.
mean, y'all about to get married. I
Was
hope
it
so.
before we got engaged?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was right before
You know what it
moved
was? It was when I moved out, or when I made plans to move out, and he started coming up. They was like, "Well, she about to go live with him anyway. They could sleep in the same bed."
Like I guarantee that if that wasn't the case, that nigga would still be on the couch.
I think in order for it to work, though, there has to be like a level of understanding that this isn't nobody. Like this isn't one person's house. This is everybody's house.
I don't think that's
so.
how
You
that
need to be
works.
able to have the same freedoms as anybody else in this house,
don't think black
with
people see it like
respect in the rules,
I don't think black people see it like
like house rules.
that. I don't think black people say we not roommates. I'm your mama. I just don't see this going any other way.
What if there was enough space for everybody to have like their own section?
You talking about privilege.
Because
This
if
is
y'all
big
all
talk.
paying $2,000 for rent, right? And y'all all take that $2,000, is 6 of y'all.
Where the fuck are y'all living?
Shit, you might live in Houston or something. Miami. I'm sure the yams, they going for like $3,500 for a unit. But
What? I thought you said thought you said the yams. Let's go.
Miami.
Because of Yams.
Not my
I thought
yams.
the yams.
Miami, the
Like,
yams.
You out here, that price,
You know, Florida.
That's inflation.
Paying $3,500 for some 30-year-old yams.
Inflation on inflation.
Best $3,500 you ever spent. I'll tell you something. It's like, I'm lying. But yeah, so you take that and you put it all into the pot, and everybody's paying that. You probably could get a nice chunk of house for that. No, you still not rolling.
No.
So
Can we go through what our examples are functioning, multi-generational households?
like what we think it would take to make the household run.
Well, because basically we're saying that we've seen other cultures do this.
Yeah.
Right. What do we see? What are the pros of having this?
I ain't never been over none of their house. They don't never invite nobody over to their house if they living like that.
I just told you I only seen the Mexicans do it.
But have you ever been to their house?
No, but they live under us in our apartment. And it'd be like, I'd be like, how many people live in there? Like, it's like, I know for a fact I've seen a grandma, a mother, 2 kids, and at least a dad, because that'd be his work truck outside. So I'm like, I don't know how many people live in that apartment, because we live in a 2-bedroom, so I don't know what's going on, because they got like 3 kids.
You know who else I've seen do that or heard that they do? Asian communities, when they bring people over from Asia and they come to the United States and they all have one house and everybody stays there until they get enough to continue their growth in America.
I couldn't find myself like doing that. Like that would have been something from like, not now. I would never want to go back. Like if I was 15 and they was like, nah, you good until we live like this was the culture. We just all live together. Then it probably would make sense to me. But now at 30, I'm like, bro, no, I like to walk around with my nuts out.
That's true. That's true.
I don't get this.
That's true.
And especially not in one house.
And then with the common areas, I think you would have to have multiple common areas.
Yeah, I want to hang rap pictures on the wall in the TV room. Like shit like that. Like I won't.
Have you ever thought about it as a small sacrifice for a large gain?
No.
Because of the amount of money you would save by doing that?
No, because...
what about temporarily?
Gotta be down bad. Pride won't let me get that far.
Yeah.
Pride wouldn't.
Honestly, now that I think about it, I've seen 2 cases of this. The first case was when I was in high school. My high school best friend, her grandparents lived in the house. It took me a while to realize that her grandparents lived in the house because they had a separate entrance to the basement. Mm-hmm. So they had the basement renovated and they lived down there. And I had no idea that they lived down there until I started like spending the night and hanging out with her more. And I didn't even know. I was like, well, why do they always talk to somebody in the basement? Who that? Y'all got family down there? But they seemed to do it really well because they had their own entrance, own exit. They had their own bathroom, everything. It was like a small apartment down there. And it seemed to work out. I don't know if they were paying her mom rent or whatever, but it seemed to work out. The second case was in my adulthood. I seen 2 couples and a single person live in the house together. So it was a situation of friends living together for everybody to cut their costs on rent. And one of the couples came out of it with a house. So I think it worked out from that aspect, but I did see some wear and tear on the friendship during that time.
Which makes me wonder, like, I'd be kind of upset. Like, y'all. Oh, so we all moving into this house, right? Because when y'all are staying with us, return the favor, fam. Like, what? But I just don't see it, bro. I just like my space, bro. I wouldn't want to live with people again, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So one of the things that I guess what kind of really triggered the conversation for like afterwards, right, was we were talking about how far will a parent should take care of like their kid, right?
Okay.
So one of the bigger things that you kind of see in like that intergenerational household is like if that kid goes to school and then comes back, right, and after they graduate from college, they're able to stay with their parents, right? And it might it's on the intergenerational household adjacent, but
yeah,
that's where I kind of see like most of the intergenerational households have situations like that, where they, a child might be right out of school and might not be able to get a job, be able to afford something, and they're able to like stay at home so they can.
I think sometimes people just need a longer runway. So instead of it looking at it as a situation as you already on your own and you doing good, that's fine. You on your own. But if you want to take things to the next level and you just need a little bit more time to get to that next level, that's perfectly fine. And I feel like a lot of times we don't give each other that space to have that longer runway to get your stuff together. And sometimes it would be a lot more helpful. Like instead of when I said last week, at 21, I got put out to be on my own. If I had just a little bit more time to do something, probably could have fucked around a little bit longer and then got into the position that I'm in, like going to school and all that stuff. But I feel like it would just be helpful, especially to the kids that are graduating high school and not going directly to college. It's almost like you have two options: go to work or go to college.
That's for motherfuckers that care though. Like, I lived at home till I was 28. Shit, Jazz, the reason I don't live at home now. But like, I don't think I was like preparing myself to live on my own. Like eventually, I probably would have been like, you know what, I don't want to stay here no more. But like at that point, I was like, I'm 28. Like it's cool. Like I come and go as I please.
Right.
Well, why do we feel like that? It's like forced. Like it feels kind of forced in our culture rather than
we feel like we need to be our own people now. Like I need to be it's this weird ego thing. Like Rez has gotta be the mother of this house, like the queen of her household, and she can't do that living underneath her parents. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like her growth is being stifled because it's like under that. You know what I'm saying? Like you, the man of your house, you can't be the man of your house if your dad is still on the grill. You know, like,
you want to be on the grill.
Yeah, like you.
And I understand that, but like it's a math game, right? Like it's all about numbers.
Right.
Like my thing is like if I would just use me as an example. I graduated college, right? I didn't get my first job for a year and a half after I graduated college. Right? I was able to survive because I went to grad school, no refund checks be hitting. Right? But
young nigga, run that checkup.
Right. So, but one thing is like, if me personally, if I would have decided, or if I would have probably humbled myself to ask to stay with my grandparents or with my parents or something like that, it would have probably given me a little bit more leeway to be able to explore, basically to not take, 8 to 9 years to get to me where I'm at today.
Yeah, but you didn't want to do that. That's
I mean,
not.
But that was based off of what, always growing up saying at 18 you're gonna be out of my house. But I'm just saying like it's one of those things that I think it's something that we have to unlearn. Like I don't think it's necessarily healthy. I think it's a reaction to, hey, I've been struggling to raise you, so I need relief by getting you out of my house.
I feel like that's the key. Like
I don't know if that's because now instead of having multiple incomes, you just have one income.
I think they just keep telling us like being grown is this cool thing. Like, it's like not even like cool. Like it's just you reach this point, you don't need nothing else. Yeah, like, Sam, I'm not.
It all started at that Thanksgiving table.
Like
when you couldn't sit at the grown-up table, and to second that, it started when you were sitting in the back seat of that car and you wanted so bad to sit in the front seat so you could be grown.
And it's this whole thing about like even if you take like relationships and you hear them motherfuckers talk about that I'm not finna be at home raising a grown man. Why not?
Man, Jody ruined it for us all.
But see, but that's the thing though. Like the thing is like intergenerational households, like if it's done ideally, no one, like everyone is pulling their weight. Like everyone is contributing. It's not someone is just like I'm just fucking around.
And because
I think we mixed it up. So we're talking about two separate things. We're talking about graduating school and being able to stay a little bit longer as opposed to being told, get out of my house, right? And then we're talking about intergenerational households, which means that a group of adults come together and decide, yo, you're going to stay here until you have enough money to get a house because I don't want you to have to rent a house. It's a trap. I don't want you to have to rent a apartment. It's a trap. I want you to buy a house somewhere before you leave this house, so that you too can be set up. And I think it happens like that because sometimes families aren't able to outright buy their kid a house.
Like, I don't be like, in my head, we separate this, and it's because that's how life goes. The kid that was able to get away from the house and go to college ain't coming back to whatever it was that he struggled. But a motherfucker who never left and was in this struggle the whole time, why would I? Like, I don't know a life outside of this. So why would I do that?
I ain't gonna hold you. Being home be fun.
Like, being at home allows you to do some shit you probably shouldn't. It kind of stifles you a little bit. Like,
You think so?
I would take the part-time job because all I need money is transportation to get home, get to work, and do shit like that, and do fun shit I want to do.
So I think that's where the rules come in. You have to have a little bit more structure about, yeah, you're going to be in this household, but it's not a fact of you just renting out a room.
Right.
Like, you have to have a plan.
Like, they don't, like, you live there. Like, everything that comes with living here comes with these expenses. Like, you don't have to go grocery shopping because we all in this fucking house got to eat. So it's going to be food. The lights are all going to be on because we all live in this house to pay for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when you become this kid at 21, it's like, nigga, I've only known that the lights was on. Like, why should I be helping turn these lights on? Keep the lights on. If I wanted to do that, I'd just leave.
And pay your own light.
Right. Like,
And have your own independence.
you know what I'm saying?
But what is it about because have you ever lived on your own?
No.
Like, without somebody, just on your own?
No.
Me either. Do you want to?
No.
So I think the challenge for probably you is just like the thought of like having your own family and your separation.
Yeah.
Because you are like very, I don't want to be like too much with too many people, or to be able to separate yourself. Like, if you living in a household with like 6 people, where's the time for you to come back and like charge up,
Right.
or
like,
decompress?
I just don't like like, it wouldn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, even if, like, I always say, if the lottery hit, it's a compound. Y'all have your own space to go do whatever. It might be on the same piece of land, and we all can share, you know what I'm saying, this land together.
A cul-de-sac, if you will.
Yeah, but it's not, like, I would love to be the guy that, like, goes into real estate and buys the apartment complex. So now we all live, you know what I'm saying, like, you can live in, like, live in the complex, or buy all the houses on the block. We can live on the same block, but I'm not finna, like, we not finna stay in the same house if we can afford not to.
Right.
Like, that's it.
Okay. So now we're saying if we can't, I think, so I guess there's an idea that with intergenerational household, like, everyone can afford to live on their own, but they're choosing not to, so that they can save money.
Yes.
All right, but you're saying that if there is a situation like, I don't know, like another 2008 with with the housing market and something like that, if it's like a dire situation, that's the only way you would ever do it?
Yes, bro. I'm not. No, I don't want to. I just, because I want to fuck in my house and not give a fuck who hears it. Like, I don't want the girl to be embarrassed that my mama heard her. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want that. I want to do, if I today want to hang, like, you know what I'm saying? If the laundry's in there, I don't want to hear somebody say, you need to be washing that laundry. I ain't finna wash it after your ass all the time. Like, no, bro. That's why I left to begin with. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I'm 30, about 30. I don't want to hear that. Like, that still triggers the trauma that I got from childhood. Why this one sink in the, this is my house. That's why that one sink's still in the sink. Like, the spoon's still in the sink. I want that. I got away from that trauma.
Yeah, I don't know. I really think it's something that can be done, but I think there has to be a foundation, and maybe it works better amongst friends. Would you go into a situation like that with friends?
Nah.
Can you explain the 3 house thing about amongst those friends?
Oh yes. What about it?
You mentioned it briefly in the beginning.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it's just a house of 6 friends living together, and it is what it is. It's,
What the fuck is this? The real world?
So I looked it up. So basically, there were
The
3.
real
I seen the one where there was just 3 sisters. Like, there were 3 sisters. And basically what they decided to do is that they, over the course of, I guess you would say like 30 years or so like that.
Oh, that's what household you're talking about.
Right. The plan was that they would live in one house and they would all pay the rent, right, as if they could all afford it, because they could all afford it, right? So they're all paying the mortgage full price, like, so 3 times a month, right, so that they could be done in like 10 years.
Okay.
And then essentially the next oldest would then do it following that, right? And then even though the person who owns the first house will still live there, they will still contribute to the second house, right? And then same thing with the third house. Could you see yourself in, you know, siblings or friends situation where you can say, hey, like, let's create this, you know, our own, you know, situation where we kind of continue to do this?
No. Do you think people will really do that?
Why? It'd be
I
hard.
feel like after the first person get their house, you be like, we still doing this? Dang, that's so old. Y'all still doing this?
So are all the sisters singles? Do they not have to consult with their husband?
Y'all still on this bullshit? That was 10 years ago.
Like, they don't have to consult with their partner about putting money into something else?
Dang, y'all still trying to pay this mortgage off? Mine been paid.
Like, I don't see how that, like,
I want to opt out.
I don't, like, this is like some shit, like, what happens, like, the first house is just there and you live there, like, but you paying bills here and something happened to you. Now you can't go along with this plan no more because I got laid off.
It sounds great in theory.
It sounds great in theory.
It sounds really great.
But when you start adding these variables, like, I have a husband who has his own house. I don't need to pay
to get a house anymore. I think it's very good, but you have to go into it with a plan. And the truth is, most times when you live with people, you start to see stuff that you really don't like.
And you
about
start to
them.
not like them a little bit.
Yeah, so it can be challenging. I do think that it is a good strategy. And it's something that maybe we could work towards, but ideally it comes with a bit of uncomfort. That's why it's almost like a sacrifice. Yeah. For a big reward, like whatever you're saving up for.
So it happened when Diamond let Ebony in her house. You know, fucking her man.
What happens when your friends start fucking on each other? Now y'all got a nasty house.
So now somebody gotta leave.
Now somebody gotta go home.
Now somebody gotta leave.
Wow, that's crazy. But I think
use the money you were saving by leaving here because I gotta go now.
Now you gotta leave very quickly. And take
what kind of rule? Like, what kind of rules do we have, bro?
I think the rules would have to be rule number 1.
Can you fuck in common places? We might be Netflixing and chilling and shit get a little heavy. Can I fuck on this couch that we done paid together?
What happened? I don't think so. I don't think you could fuck on the couch. Hold on. Is anybody else in the house?
No.
It's just y'all there.
And I fuck on this couch that we all share. Can I do that?
I would say, as long as I don't know about it, which you don't know,
you just trying to be nasty.
But I'm putting in this perspective. All right, if this the case, you vegan, eat fucking like meat, and I'm vegetarian. Can we all eat the shit that's in this kitchen if it fits our dietary restriction, or can I only eat the shit that I buy?
You gotta, I think that would call for a second fridge. Because that's a lot of stuff. That vegan motherfucker got a lot of shit in there.
That they can't eat.
That they need to hurry up and eat.
You know what I'm saying? You wanna watch YouTube videos in the common area, but I wanna watch the game tonight on that TV.
You got a TV in your room?
No, we don't got that. We got one TV because we done paid for this 80-inch that's in this living room.
That's your problem.
I think it would be more of a hassle, especially if you know that you could afford the house on your own, and it's like, well, damn, I'm going through all this stuff. I can't even fuck on this couch.
Hold up, let me borrow your laptop tomorrow.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do we share? Everything or certain shit? Do we only got one car?
It's Christmas. Y'all want to have y'all family over for Christmas? Who family get to come over?
And y'all not related.
It's already 6 motherfuckers in there.
It's a lot of shit that go on in here. Like, what is the rule about having niggas in this house? Like, can we all bring somebody back to the crib?
I think that's the other piece too. Say if everybody's single, and we see this a lot in like roommate scenarios, and everybody's single in the house, but one person has their boyfriend that comes over every night. Now it's a question of we all paying our $500 each a month.
Is this
he
nigga-
got $500, so we could break it down a little bit more because he's here every night.
He's here every night, and he eating the shit.
He
You
eating.
cooking for him
Right.
out of our kitchen.
Right.
You ran out of cheese, but I had a whole thing, and you used some of my cheese to feed this nigga.
I think once the rules are established, it could work, but it's gonna be
Then
uncomfortable.
it becomes a whole like a cleanliness thing. You gotta clean every 2 days. I like to do laundry once a week. Like, and who's paying for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes one of these things where it's like a hassle, more so than it's helpful. Like,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can only we all like you do everything separate, but live in one house with somebody. Like, I might as well fucking go somewhere else.
So let's take it a step further. You have kids, right? Your kids are in high school. Now that you've experienced your life, you know, living with your parents, leading up to high school, leading up to college, not going to college, whatever. What do you think your parenting style is going to be like towards that issue or towards that stance for like having them leave the nest or preparing for them to leave the nest?
Because I just think you should. I think you should give them the option. Like, hey, listen, you gotta do something though. Like, you gotta do something.
We hear that a lot.
As long as you're doing something, I don't care. You can stay. I don't think it's respectful for you to be trying to bring women in here, but I understand. Like, it depends on what my situation is.
I mean, like, can you?
It's a mom and it's a household conversation.
Can you blame them like after 18 years though?
Like
for wanting you to get the hell on, get the hell on.
You see what I'm saying? But
after
then
18 years for wanting you to step.
But it's like it's also like a you gotta understand this is still my house type thing. Like,
No, because when you think about it from our point of view, like right now, we are doing a lot of stuff to get to that set where we have a house that we can go to. And we bring you into this world, into this house, and
you get the freeload. Fucking freeloader.
Okay. Let's think about it from that view.
Fucking freeloader.
So you would let them stay as long as they need to, as long as they doing something.
Here's the thing. This is all I am providing you is with shelter.
The vibes.
This is the vibe. The vibes are shelters. And there's food. The amenities of these houses I got.
Okay.
But you not driving my car.
You sure ain't?
I'm not putting gas in yours.
Don't ask me to pick you up.
I'm not paying for this. If you got a room full of sneakers, you better walk in.
It's time for you to get your own phone
Like,
bill.
I'm not doing all
You're
the
not
other
sitting
shit.
on my plan for.
I'm not doing all this other shit that come along with this.
What age you get off your parents' insurance? 24.
I don't even know.
That was a rough
I
day.
don't even remember being.
That was a rough day
I don't
getting
even
dropped
been
from
on
you.
there.
It's like, you don't give a fuck about me no more, huh? So I got to live on my own and I don't get your insurance no more?
Listen, but that's like the type of thing I'm saying. Like, bro, you can't, like, you can, there's a room, you can come in, here's a key. You do whatever you need to in this house. It's free, cable free, Wi-Fi free. If you got a computer, do all that shit here. But everything else that you need to leave, once you go outside these doors, that's on you, fam. That's on you.
I think my strategy would be, you have to be careful with this one. You have to be financially responsible to do this as a parent. But I would say that they could stay up until, you know, how long they need. But after a certain age, you're going to have to start paying some bills. Mm-hmm. And my ideal plan would be to use that money that they're paying me for like rent and just put it to the side, because naturally I wouldn't be in a position where I need that money to actually pay the bills. I would just use it to put towards you when it's time for you to actually leave and you have the foundation to leave. So in a perfect world, I would take your little $500 in rent, or I don't know how much it would be, $200. My parents charged me $100. It wasn't shit, but I was struggling to get that $100. But charge you a little rent and then take it and flip it into something else for you, ideally.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would be in a hurry to rush them, because I know that feeling. And maybe you don't want them to leave after a while.
I don't know if parents get to that point
where they don't want them to leave. I think they do.
I'm not doing none of the extra shit either. You gotta
What?
wash your own clothes and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Buy your own detergent and shit like that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But hey, one day we'll see.
Because it becomes like you just live at home. Like, it didn't know. Well, my situation was different. Like, it was just me and my dad. And my dad was like, yeah, I live here anyway. I got to pay for all this shit anyway. You can come stay with me.
I could tell my parents wanted their house back. I could fucking tell. They was like, you having a lot of fun over here. And like the first couple months I moved back, I was on vacation. I went to a vacation every month. They was like, so you just gonna go on vacation every month? Yeah.
And like
a little bit.
Like even that like brought us closer though.
Yeah.
Like it brought us away.
It does bring you closer.
Like now, I feel like the year and a half that I've not lived with him, we don't even talk as much now.
Aww.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I also realized that's like one of our character flaws.
That's something you inherited.
We don't like to talk to people. Like even if we in the house, we just gotta be in the house in the same room to speak to each other. We don't like congregate together much. So it was one of them. Like
I don't need much. Just sit in the room with me while I play on my phone and you watch a movie.
but look, that's what I be asking for.
Right.
But
That's all I want.
it be motherfuckers that want to talk to you.
That want to talk. Yeah. They always want to talk.
Attention and shit.
Just communicate.
Need attention.
Communication.
want affection and shit,
Communication.
yeah.
Talk.
This not good enough. We in the same room doing it like, you know what I'm saying? I even let you control the TV. I ain't paying attention anyway.
Anyway, I think we could take a break and come back for her final thoughts.
Look at us finna get cussed out after that.
Right, before we get in trouble. And we're back for our final thoughts. So, as we were thinking about things that we wanted to kind of wrap up the episode saying, EA started to get in his bag, and I'm just going to pass the mic over to him so he can continue that conversation. What were we saying off mic?
Ultimately, what I was saying was that I was
Not him picking up right where he left off.
I was jumping in my bag. I was trying to put my whole feet and my legs.
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, you
Just trying to
were.
wear it like a sack race.
Yeah,
Right. But ultimately, going into this topic, I'm not sure if we want to say that I mix things up, right? Because I look at intergenerational households as like adults, like multiple adults that may got some years in between them. Basically living in the same house, right, for the same common goal. But MEZ kind of debunked it for me. I never really expected like just to hear the idea of the freedoms that you have. Basically what MEZ kind of got me to think is like the freedoms of the struggle are worth more than living financially pleasant, but kind of having restrictions. And that has done a lot for me.
yeah. I think going into it sounds like a good idea. I think I said it throughout the whole episode.
And then I just think about it like
It's a lot of stuff you got to give up.
like you got a really good relationship with your sister. But what if you got a sister that you beef with and we gotta live here? What if you got a sister that go get pregnant and then they gotta bring that baby back and it's another mouth to feed?
That baby got bad vibes.
Imagine what you got to do for a peace of mind. You got to, that's why I say you have to have a lot of space to do that.
What if you want to go imagine the teenager, this from fucking the show I was watching on Netflix. Imagine you got the potential to be really great at life. And yeah, you don't get to deal out all your opportunities because you gotta go home and watch the kids that live in the house because you the oldest.
Listen, not fun. I think some people actually lived out that reality during quarantine. And
Imagine that, being stuck in the house.
Some people have fun if they had a lot of space. Other people, it was a struggle because you don't get that peace of mind when everybody the hell at home.
Who the fuck ate all my kettle corn?
That Wi-Fi start acting up when it's 6-7 people on there. I tell you that.
This nigga start stealing charges and getting out of hand.
Right now you can't find your blocks.
Ooh-wee.
Your grapes going. You came back downstairs to eat them. They gone. But let's get into some jams that we could listen to, because when you winding down and your family ain't around screaming in the background because 6-7 motherfuckers in there, you might want to put your headphones in and listen to something to take your mind off it. Maisie, what you got for them?
You are now tuned in to WMEZ. I ain't even gonna lie to you. We're gonna figure this out right now. You're tuned into What we gonna play this week? We got CEO Trayle. CEO Trayle this week. This song is called "Okay Cool." Here on WMEZ.
Textually Active.
That's right.
I just want to say with that song, like I was expecting a flow based off the different songs of the week that we've had, but that one made me want to feel like kind of like violate somebody like Jadakiss and
It's like we outside again, bro. We about to go back inside, but this is the last.
y'all lip syncing.
The last little section that we gonna get outside,
Right.
and I'm gonna live it up.
That's right. All right. For memes, anybody got a meme? You got one?
Yeah, I'll go.
What you got?
In the spirit of okay, cool, because I gotta listen to it again because I kind of liked it.
Yeah,
Alright,
that was.
so
that was a
basically,
vibe.
it's just the energy that I want to be off of. Basically, sometimes you just gotta remind yourself and remind others that I only debate my equals. All others I teach, and that's a word from John Henrik Clark. What happens if I said that like Funkmaster Flex? I only debate my equals. All other teachers I teach.
Hey, you gotta put a bomb on there.
Yeah, you need a bomb.
That's crazy.
Light it up.
That's crazy.
All right, mine goes along with the episode because if you living in a house with 8-10 motherfuckers, I feel like this is something you do to kind of like clear your mind. And this lady was spitting when she said this because sometimes you just don't have a car. I just drove 30 minutes in GTA to clear my mind.
That's it.
That took me back to my teenage days.
That's all it
because
matters.
when I was in that house and them parents getting on their nerves, close that door,
That's all that matters.
get in that car, drive around and tear some stuff up.
That's
Now
all-
you on a high speed chase with 50,
Five stars.
56 cops, the SWAT team and the helicopter shooting at you because you're trying to clear your mind.
That's the only place I don't want to have 5 stars.
On GTA, yeah, that game was so fun. Shout out to GTA.
That's fire. I was triggered. I can relate. This one go to all my guys out here that talk like CEO Trayle did. Argue with your girl in person is easy, but she get on that phone, start whooping your ass in the paragraphs.
That's right.
And you just be like, okay.
Whooping your ass.
When it come time for that typing and you see that keyboard still going, you already got a paragraph on there
I ain't never been
pending.
more afraid of ellipses in my life.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, thank you all for listening to another episode of Textually Active.
Textually
We drop
Active.
episodes every Tuesday. You could come back right here on YouTube, right here on wherever you listen at, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music. Are we on?
It's podcast, whatever.
Whatever you listen to your podcast on.
Whatever. Doing that.
I like when you guys watch on YouTube.
YouTube is the one. Really.
Yeah.
You can see the real episode in real life.
Right.
Get it.
See what the hell going
It
on.
makes sense. Notice that I wasn't paying attention for the whole time. That's my secret.
It's late. But we will be back next Tuesday with a new episode. Make sure you keep up with us on our social media pages. If you like this episode, share it, leave a comment, like it, talk to us, we talk back.
One of us is spitting today.
Yeah. We will be back. Bye.
Not with our families though.
No.
It's not a family podcast.
No.
Thank you for listening to the Textually Active podcast. This podcast is a full-service production from the Open Media Lab. Be sure to check in every Textual Tuesday along with following them on all social media at Textually Active Pod. Textually Active is a part of the Open Media Network.